was the house," he said. The thief took the old man home. Then he went back to the other 39 thieves and told them his story. One evening, some weeks later, a seller of oil came to the door of Qasim's house. He had 20 donkeys with him. Each donkey carried 2 big oil jars. The oil seller said to Ali Baba, "Sir, I'm going to sell these jars of oil tomorrow. Please, can I leave them outside your house tonight?" "Bring in your donkeys and your jars," said Ali Baba. "You can eat with us and stay here for the night." The oil seller brought in his donkeys and jars. Then Ali Baba took him inside. Marjana was in the kitchen. She started to cook the dinner, but the oil in her lamp went out. "I know," she thought. "There's a lot of oil in the jars outside. I can take a little for my lamp." She went outside to the jars. When she got to the first jar, a man asked from inside the jar, "Is it time?" Marjana was very surprised, but she thought quickly. She answered, "No, it isn't time." Then she went to every jar. From each jar she heard the same question and gave the same answer. Only the last jar really had oil in it. Something was very wrong. "The men in these jars are 39 thieves," Marjana thought. "The oil seller is a thief too. They are going to kill Ali Baba and his family. I have to do something." She carried the oil from the last jar into the kitchen and put it over the fire. When the oil was very hot, she went outside and put some hot oil into every jar. In this way, she killed 39 of the 40 thieves. But the last thief, the most dangerous, was upstairs with Ali Baba and his family. Later that night, Ali Baba and his family were asleep in bed. But Marjana was in her kitchen. She waited for the thief. He came downstairs and went outside. Marjana watched him. He went to the first jar and said, "It's time." But there was no answer from the jar. The thief looked inside and saw a dead man. He was very surprised and afraid. He ran from jar to jar and found the same thing in every jar. Then he came to the last jar. There was nothing in it. Marjana began to make a loud noise from the kitchen. The thief was afraid and climbed into the jar. Then Marjana carried more hot oil to the jar and put it on top of the thief inside. Now he was dead too. In the morning, Marjana told Ali Baba everything. "Thank you very much, Marjana," said Ali Baba. "You are a very clever girl. Will you marry my son?" So Marjana lived happily with the family for many years. At the end of the story, Shahryar said to Scheherazade, "Marjana was really very clever. Some girls make clever plans, and then men will do everything for them. Not you, I hope." "Oh, no, sir," answered Scheherazade. "I only want to make you happy." "Then tell me a new story tonight," said Shahryar. Chapter 9. The Thief and the Donkey. 2 thieves stood in a busy street in the city. One of them looked at the people and said,
Look at those people. They're very stupid. I can take something from everybody." "You think you can do that?" said the other thief. "You talk about it, but can you really do it? I don't think people are really stupid. Look at that man with the donkey over there. Can you take his donkey from him?" "Yes," said the first thief. "With a little help from you, I can take his donkey from him, and he will say thank you to me for it. Come with me, and I'll show you."
The two thieves followed the man down the street. The man pulled the donkey behind him. The first thief went behind the donkey and changed places with it. At the same time, the second thief took the donkey away. So the man pulled a person, not his donkey, but he didn't know this. The thief walked behind the man for a little way, but suddenly he stopped. The man pulled and pulled. The thief didn't move. So the man turned round. He was very surprised when he saw the thief.
"Who are you?" he cried. "And where's my donkey?" "Oh, sir, don't ask me," answered the thief. "I was your donkey, but now I'm a man again. Listen to my sad story. I lived with my mother, a good old woman, but I wasn't a good son. She wanted me to live a better life, but I didn't listen to her. One night I came home very late. My mother was angry with me. Then I got angry too and started to hit her. She shouted, 'Will you never change, my son? You are as stupid as a donkey. Perhaps one day you'll really change into a donkey.' Suddenly, I began to feel different. My ears got longer, and my arms changed into legs. When I tried to speak, I could only make donkey noises." "So you really changed into a donkey?" said the man. "Yes. I ran outside into the street. The next morning a man caught me. He took me into the town and sold me. He sold me to you, sir. Then a very bad time began for me. Sometimes you hit me and didn't give me much food. Sometimes you put very heavy things on my back. Then today I walked down this street and I saw my old mother. When she saw me, she cried. She said, 'You're a nice little donkey. I had a son, but he changed into a donkey. Perhaps one day he'll change into a man again.' And suddenly I was a man again." When he heard this, the man said, "Oh, my dear brother, I'm very sorry. I know I was often unkind to you, but I didn't know you were really a man. I thought you were only a donkey. Here, take this money, buy food and drink, and go home again to your old mother." The thief took the money and went away. He was very happy with his morning's work. When the man arrived home, his wife asked, "Where's your donkey?" "We have no donkey," answered the man, and he told his wife the thief's story. "You were right when you gave money to that man," said the wife, "but you can't do your work without a donkey. Tomorrow go into the town and buy a new one." The next day the man went into the town. He saw a donkey in the street.
He went to it and looked at it carefully. Then he was very surprised. "This is my old donkey," he thought. He spoke quietly into the donkey's ear and said, "So you hit your old mother again, and she changed you back into a donkey. Well, I'll never buy you again." "That was a very funny story," said the Sultan. "But it's only the middle of the night. I know you have a new story for me." He was right. Scheherazade had another story. Chapter 10. Aladdin and the Lamp. Aladdin lived with his mother in a great city. They had very little money. Aladdin's father was dead, and his mother made clothes for rich people. Aladdin helped her in her work. One day a man stopped Aladdin in the street. This man wore very fine clothes. "Hello, Aladdin," he said. "I'm your uncle, your father's brother. I came here from Morocco. I wanted to see him, but he's dead. So I'd really like to help you. Perhaps I can buy you a shop." Aladdin was very surprised. He didn't know his father had a brother. They walked round the city. Then the man said, "It's a nice day. Let's go outside the city." They walked for a long time, and Aladdin got very tired. Then his uncle stopped and hit the ground 3 times. There was a great noise, and the ground opened. Aladdin saw some dark stairs. They went down into the ground for a long way. Aladdin didn't like these stairs, but his uncle pushed him down them. "Listen, boy," he said. "At the bottom of the stairs there's a cave. Go through the cave, and you'll come to a garden of fruit trees. You'll see a dirty old lamp under a tree. Bring that lamp to me. Now go. Be quick." Aladdin was afraid of the stairs, but he was more afraid of his uncle. So he went down the stairs to the cave. He walked through the garden and found the lamp. He put it inside his shirt. Then he started to take some fruit from the trees. The fruit was pieces of gold. He put the gold inside his shirt too. His uncle waited at the top of the stairs. "Give me the lamp before you climb out. Then I'll help you," said his uncle. But Aladdin didn't like this idea. "No," he answered. "Help me first, then I'll give you the lamp." Aladdin's uncle got very angry. He tried to take the lamp from Aladdin. Suddenly there was a loud noise, and everything went black. The ground closed over Aladdin. Aladdin's uncle wasn't really his uncle. He was a magician. He wanted the lamp in the cave, but the place was dangerous, so he used Aladdin. But now he couldn't get the lamp. "Stupid boy," he said, and he went back angrily to Morocco. It was very dark in the cave. Aladdin couldn't get out. He stayed in the cave for 2 days and 2 nights. "Why did my uncle want this dirty old lamp?" he thought. He moved his hands over the lamp. Suddenly there was a loud noise, and a large genie stood in front of him. "I'm the genie of the lamp," he said. "What can I do for you, sir?" Aladdin was surprised, but he only wanted one thing. I want to go home," he said. The next minute, he was at home with his mother. He told her his story. His mother was very interested. "Let's ask this genie for more things," she said. So Aladdin called the genie, and the genie came. "I'm very hungry," said Aladdin. "Bring my dinner." The genie brought wonderful food on gold plates. Then Aladdin and his mother asked for new clothes and other things. The genie brought everything. For a time, Aladdin was happy. Then, one day, he saw the Sultan's beautiful daughter in a garden. From that minute, he was in love with her and wanted to marry her. Aladdin dressed in fine clothes and went to see the Sultan. He took 40 servants with him. Each servant carried a gold box with many beautiful things inside. The Sultan couldn't say no to Aladdin. "This man is very rich," he thought. "He'll be a good husband for my daughter." So Aladdin married the Sultan's daughter. The genie brought them a lovely house, and they lived there happily. But one person wasn't happy: the magician in Morocco. He couldn't stop thinking about the lamp. Was it under the ground with that stupid boy? Or did the boy get out of the cave? Were the boy and the lamp somewhere in the city? He had to know the answers to these questions. So he came back to Aladdin's city. The magician put on old clothes and bought some new lamps. Then he went round the streets of the city and cried, "New lamps for old lamps! New lamps for old lamps!" People laughed at him and brought their old lamps to him. "This lamp seller is stupid," they thought. The magician changed their old lamps for new ones. Then he stopped outside Aladdin's house. Aladdin was out, but his wife sat at a window. She saw the magician and said to a servant girl, "There's a dirty old lamp in my husband's room. Give it to that man." When the magician had the lamp in his hands, he called the genie. The genie came and said, "Sir, what can I do for you?" "Take me, this house, and everything in it to Morocco." A big black cloud came down over the house. When the cloud went away again, Aladdin's house wasn't there. When Aladdin came home, he cried, "This is that magician's work. What am I going to do?" He went to Morocco and looked for his house. After a long time he found it. His wife was inside. When she saw Aladdin, she put her arms round him. "You're here, my love. I'm very happy now," she cried. "The magician comes to see me every night. He wants me to forget you and marry him." "And my lamp?" asked Aladdin. "Where is it?" "He carries it with him." "I have to get that lamp," said Aladdin. "You'll have to help me. Put something in the magician's drink tonight." That night Aladdin waited in the next room. His wife put something in the magician's drink, and he slept. Then Aladdin cut off his head. Aladdin took the lamp and called the genie. "Sir, what can I do for you?" the genie asked. "Take this house and everything in it back to my city." Aladdin and his wife flew back home and lived happily for many years. But the lamp always always stayed with Aladdin.
"How many stories do you know?" Shahryar asked.
"I know stories for 1,001 nights, and when I finish those stories, I'll think of new ones."
"Then I can never cut off your head. But I don't want to kill you. I love you, Scheherazade."
So Scheherazade won the Sultan's love with her stories. She loved him too, and they were very happy.